I picked up the phone, Shannon, and obviously I know a few members of the Knicks.
Right.
I called them personally. I was literally arguing. I ain't gonna say no names. They know who they are. I was arguing with them. Draft Haliburton. You got Julius Randle.
Right.
You ain't gonna play Obi Toppin but so much. I know the brothers are Skywalker, but damn it, that's not what you need.
Right.
You need Haliburton. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only 2 players in the NBA that are averaging 25 points and 10 assists a game. Halliburton's one of them. Trae Young's the other. The brother is, I'm just looking at some of these numbers here. This is unbelievable just watching this kid do this thing right now. Shooting 52% from the field, 45% from three-point range, 88% from the free throw line. Leads the NBA with 11.9 assists a game and is third in the league behind Steph Curry and Luka Doncic with 68 three-pointers made this season. The brother is spectacular. The Pacers are averaging over 128 points a game. And they're third in the league in three-point shooting at 38.8%. And that dude is the reason why. And he could have been the New York Knicks. Just go ahead, y'all.
The Kings lost this one, Legs. I understand you got a big guy with Sabonis to play pick and roll with De'Aaron Fox, but he ain't Hallie. Hallie legit. He legit.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Does he have a case to be the top point guard in the NBA?
We got to see it because, hold on, this was only his second national televised game, his first TNT game. The other guys, we've seen do it on the big stage. We've seen Steph Curry. Right. We've seen Dame Lillard do it on the biggest of stages. He's going to have to continuously do what he's been doing. But as of right now, do it like you said, Stephen A., he box office. The guy can handle the ball. He can finish at the rack. He can shoot the three. He can pull up a mid-range. Now, they don't play no defense.
Right.
They're devoid of defense.
Right.
I've never seen this kind of disparity. When you this high up offensively rating and your defense is in the toilet. They are terrible. But the third quarter is when they get separation. You remember in 2016, the Golden State Warriors had the highest offensive rating. I think they were 123. In the third quarter, the Pacers are 131.7. Yeah. But their defense is 200.3. That's why they're winning games 157, 152, 141.
They don't care. They don't care. They ain't giving up 125 a game. Go ahead, Tim.
Boston allowed Indiana to get into their flow in the third quarter. Like at halftime, it looked like Boston had them contained.
Right.
And you're saying if this is going to be played at this pace, they can't beat the Celtics. But that's not what happened in the second half, and it's because of Haliburton. The question is, what's this dude's ceiling? This guy has the ceiling of being an all-league guard, like first-team all-NBA type player. But to your point, in order to get that, the team success has to be there.
That's true.
We don't know yet what that's going to mean for Tyrese Haliburton going forward with this group. I will say this isn't a 128-point-a-game roster.
No.
It's because of Tyrese Haliburton that they're putting up those kind of numbers. Here's I guess, how I would define him. He's a guy that plays with an incredible amount of flair, but also is efficient. Stephen A. mentioned the shooting splits. If this guy averages 25, 26 points a game, 11 assists on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits, you're talking about something that's unprecedented in the history of the league. Like that's how good that season would be. Mm-hmm. He also is a guy that's capable of making passes that only a few guys in his league are capable of making. Right. It's LeBron, it's Luka, and it's Jokic. He's in that class because of his height, vision, his ability to get the ball from one side of the floor to the other like on a rope because he can see everything. He's got great anticipation. The IQ's off the charts. You hear him speak after the games. Everything he says is purposeful and meaningful. He's a leader.
Yes, he is.
Guys are gravitating toward him. He's obviously puts on a show with what he does with his passing.
And that game last night meant so much. It's what the in-season tournament was supposed to be about, and you saw it last night in terms of that atmosphere. It was fantastic. Indiana Pacers have 7 players averaging 13 or more per game. 7. And 8 averaging 10. I'm looking at this right now. No, they don't play no damn defense, no question about it. But you know what? It's like they like the Loyola Marymount of the, back in the day in the NBA. It's
well,
like
Hank Gathers and
we
both
just
did
did Hank Gathers, got Russell, so the whole bit, right? They just coming at you that way. But again, on most nights, they're going to have something to say because they're going to score. And they're purposeful with it. They're like, we can't stop y'all. Can you stop us?
Yeah, think about this.
Stop us.
Think about who Hallie did that against. That's Holiday.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's Holiday that's locked up on.
He spun him around twice on a step-back three. I don't think I've ever seen Drew Holiday miss that badly on a one-on-one coverage where he literally spun the opposite direction.
Halliburton's jump shot is so ugly.
No,
it's
quirky.
And it's like because of it, you're like thinking, no. And then you watch it go up, you're like, damn. This keeps going in. But it's nice. It's nice to see. They're exciting. They really are.
They're very exciting. Do I think in a 7-game series they can beat a Boston or they can beat a Milwaukee or something like that? I do not.
But anybody else?
But they are absolutely fun to watch because they're going to force you to play a pace that I don't know if you can match for 4 quarters because they're getting up and down.
That's right.
You said it. You said it. It's Boston and Milwaukee. We all agree. They're on a collision course. We expect those.
It's another piece.
Philadelphia's, but I think they're on that next tier.
They get a Zach LaVine.
We're talking about with Indiana.
Right.
Who's going to grab that next space? Like, is it Miami? Is it the Knicks? Is it the Cavaliers? Indiana? Because of how difficult they are to guard. Orlando with a great start they have. I need to see longer stretch because I'm still shocked right now.
I am too.
At Orlando's record, looking at their roster. But I'm going to give them all the credit in the world. Let's just revisit that mid-January.
Okay.
Let's see where they are a month from now, 6 weeks from now.
Right.
But here's the thing with Indiana and with Tyrese Haliburton. He has given this team so much confidence. When they run out onto the floor, they're carrying themselves like we got the best dude on the court tonight.
Yeah.
And when you do that, like you're so empowered if you're a role player on that roster because not only is he spectacular, he makes you better.
In an interview with The Athletic, Harden was asked if he was actually told by the Sixers that he had a max deal coming. Harden said he did, and when specifically asked if that was said by Daryl Morey, his response was yes, yes. Okay. Tim, you're up first, my friend.
All right.
Does this change the narrative for you on Harden?
Well, yes and no, and here's what I mean by that. Yes, from the standpoint of that was wrong on the part of Daryl Morey if he made that promise, right? If you're a GM and you make that kind of promise to a player, you got to honor that, okay? So from that standpoint, yes, but here's the thing. I never really had a problem with James Harden like forcing his way out. I don't really judge guys too much by that anyway, to be honest with you. That's been going on since the beginning of time. Guys do that occasionally. So I didn't have a problem with that. Here's why I say the no part of did it change the narrative. For me, it didn't because I don't think he deserved max money. He didn't deserve max money. I would not have paid James Harden max money, particularly. And this is where Daryl Morey got ahead of himself. You made the promise before you saw the way James Harden was going to play in the playoffs. And by the way, you had seen it the year before, actually, against Miami. But it was much worse in the Boston series. And people that want to defend James Harden will point to games 1 and 4. What about games 1 and 4? All right, there's 7 games in that series.
Yeah.
In the other 5 games, besides 1 and 4, he actually had more turnovers than made field goals. More turnovers than made field goals for your starting point guard and really the most important player on your team offensively because he's got the ball the entire time. When you look at his track record in big spots, I would not have paid James Harden max money. So it doesn't change the narrative for me that, I can't believe he didn't get that because that's what he deserved and Daryl Morey made the promise. No, I wouldn't have given it to him. And I think Daryl Morey made a mistake by promising him that. Now, look, maybe you can't even get James Harden in the first place. If you don't tell him that coming in and he forces his way out of Brooklyn, comes to Philadelphia, I understand that. That's part of the game. But he didn't deserve it. And here's the biggest key. They're better without him. They are better since they've moved on from James Harden. Tyrese Maxey has given them a spirit. He's given Joel Embiid an energy. He's given that team a confidence. And you think he is going to show up when they need him to whatever that is, first round, second round, conference finals. You don't think that Tyrese Maxey's a guy that's going to kind of run from the light? He's unflappable. He's going to bounce back. He's too confident, even if he has a bad night. So they're better off. So, no, I'm not going to sit there and now all of a sudden sympathize with James Harden, Stephen A., and say, let's have a pity party for James Harden because he didn't get the money that Daryl Morey promised him. I'm not going to go there.
Good, because neither am I. Stephen A., my grandfather used to say all the time, boy, promises are like pie crust, thin and easily broken. Nah, bro. I agree with everything he said. James Harden was not a max player anymore. I paid James Harden max money based on what he did in the past. Now I'm giving you max money based on what I believe you'll be in the future. And then James Harden, how big a fool you got to be? I'm not giving no billionaire no $15 million back. That's your first mistake. It was giving money back. Oh, you give us some money back, we'll be able to go. That ain't my problem. I'm a player. You're the general manager. You figure out where you're going to get $15 million or $30 million from in order to bring other pieces around Joel Embiid and myself. That's not my responsibility. But after watching you play, you think I'm about to give you $45 million for another 3-4 years, James Harden? No, bro. I paid you for what you've done in the past. I don't pay you based on what you've done in the past because you already got that money. I'm paying you moving forward based on what I believe you can do and what you will be. And based on that, on what I saw, yeah, he can have a moment. But you know this, Legs, this is what happens as you start to get older. Those moments that you normally have on a regular occasion, you don't have them quite as often. They don't come with the same regularity. Take it from someone that was a pretty good player in the NFL, and as I started to get older, Stephen A., I couldn't summon it up like I once could over and over and over again. I have one game in September and wouldn't have another good game until late October. That's James Harden. And so what they did, and he got the Clippers because had heard Ty Lue the other day. That's the James Harden we know. How often do you think you're going to see that? You think you're going to see that 2-3 times a week? It's not. So I do not sympathize with James Harden. Yeah, Daryl Morey. People lied, James. You lied. Remember you told Tillman Fertitta you wanted to be there? End up in Brooklyn. Remember you told Brooklyn you wanted to be there? End up in Philly. Remember? That's what you do. You lie. They lied. You lied. Everybody got lied to. Even Swap ain't no swindle.
Both of y'all are completely right, but I still feel bad for Harden in this regard. Rather than talk about Harden for a second, let's have a conversation about Daryl Morey.
Okay.
Daryl Morey, what was he until he got James Harden? Think about what James Harden did for his career.
Yes.
Think about what James Harden did in Houston. Now, granted, no championship, no NBA Finals, 5 trips to the semis, 2 trips to the conference finals, wet the bed. On a couple of occasions, we thought he didn't show up. A couple of occasions, we thought he gave up. No doubt about it. All of that's true. Shannon, Tim, can't deny it. But you're thinking business from the standpoint of an organization. I'm thinking a direct individual relationship between 2 people, Daryl Morey and James Harden. James Harden didn't say a word about Josh Harris. Josh Harris is the owner. Josh Harris could snap his fingers and say, I want to give you the max. He damn sure didn't say that. Tillman Fertitta could have brought him back to the Rockets. Ime Udoka and them. They didn't want to. He didn't say nothing about them. Okay? Brooklyn and how chaotic that situation was. Even Kyrie is lamenting what might have been and what could have been with him, KD, and James Harden. James Harden didn't say nothing about Brooklyn. James Harden has said nothing about no one but one man, and that's Daryl Morey. Now, I like Daryl. But the fact of the matter is, Daryl hasn't been made to really answer those questions. Did you lie to that man? Did you look that man in the face and tell him ahead of time when you asked him to help you give us this money so we could go out and get these players, okay? Did you ask him to do that? Did you do it by making this promise? Because that does matter.